All right, I want to take a minute to talk about policing, local policing, and I hope you stick with me, and I hope it gets you to take a closer look at what your local police departments are doing and can do. We know that Donald Trump is using ICE as his secret police. Masked men can grab you off the street, chuck you in an unmarked van, rendition you to El Salvador, and stick you into CICOT, which is basically a slave labor camp from which there is no escape. That's what Donald Trump's doing. He's also joked with the president of El Salvador that he needs to build 5 more so that Donald Trump can deport the homegrowns too. Homegrowns, that means you, me, anybody else in this country. Anybody in the country. Donald Trump wants the ability to have ICE to grab you off the street, chuck you in a van, and rendition you to El Salvador. Now, what's that got to do with your local police? There is a thing called a 287G contract. Now, as of April 17th, there were 456 of these contracts across the country, with another 62 or 3 pending. What these contracts do, it allows the federal or allows local police to act as immigration officers or some form of immigration service. There are 3 models that they use. One revolves around the jail. If you're arrested for something else, they can then review and see if ICE needs to be brought in. There's a warrant model, which allows them to serve federal warrants. And there's a task force model that basically allows, as part of local policing duties, they can subject you to immigration standards. In other words, if they pull you over for a broken taillight, they can then go through the whole ICE repertoire. There are 3 counties in this state, in Kentucky where I live, that have contracts. All of them have the warrant contract, basically where their police can serve warrants. 2 of them have the jail enforcement contract, which allows them to look at you after you've been arrested for something else. And 1 has the task force contract. It's basically, we pull you over, we can do any damn thing we want. The 3 counties are Grayson, Daviess, and Oldham. And Grayson County is the one who hit the trifecta. They have all 3 contracts. So basically, if you're black, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, or even if you're a homegrown like me, when you come to Daviess or to Grayson County, you want to move on through. Now, Grayson County is on the Western Kentucky Parkway. It is a little ways west of Fort Knox, Kentucky. It is its main claim to fame is it has a couple of man-made lakes and has tried to create a tourist industry there. I know this area fairly well because I had a vacation house not in Grayson County, but in Breckenridge, which is a neighboring county. But always had to drive through Litchfield and Grayson County to get there. I've sold that house and I am not sad. Truthfully, my response to you is if you're going down the Western Kentucky Highway and you get near Litchfield, which is the county seat, keep driving. You can get outside the county before you have to get gas. Trust me. Now, I have to say, as bad as that is, as bad as Grayson County, one county in Kentucky is, I suggest you avoid the whole state of Florida. Not only has Florida basically included every law enforcement agency, or is trying to, under these contracts, they've also allowed the Fish and Wildlife Commission to be able to do the enforcement. They've also contracted with ICE has also contracted with the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. I guess deporting people to a gulag now is a consumer service in Florida. Also, they have contracted with 5 universities in Florida: the University of Florida, Florida International, the University of Central Florida, Florida Atlantic, and the University of South Florida. In other words, stay the hell out of Florida. You need to take a look at what your local police are doing, because this affects all of us. We're all homegrown, to quote Donald Trump. And he wants to be able to take any homegrown that is not in agreement with his administration and rendition them to a gulag in El Salvador. So, be aware and watch out. By the way, all of this information is publicly available on Homeland Security database websites, and all you have to do is Google 287G contracts.